To be honored like this, you're feeling. What does that mean?
Well, it started with the 20-year anniversary of Outkast last year, and the 20-year. What's up? With the 20th anniversary of Outkast last year, and the 20th anniversary of Goody Mob, and to know that Outkast is one of the biggest selling hip hop groups of all time, and know that we're responsible for that. It's well deserved. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree, it's almost like even Atlanta going to the forefront the way it is now, and Atlanta being a dominant force, a part of music. We know we're responsible for it. So you can pat us on the back and say thank you, but at the end of the day, our real gratification comes from seeing the work, seeing the art, seeing how the city has blossomed, seeing how everything is still growing because of us, because of what we put into the system. So that feels good. So,
can you explain popular culture growing up in Atlanta? Like, what were you listening to? How were you stated you were going to Jelly Beans. I mean, like, what was the scene?
Well, Jelly Beans was this was a southern, to me, I always say from a town to a city. Because if you go to any little country town right now, and when I say country, I'm not meaning country, I mean just outside of Atlanta. Somewhere smaller to where they have to do small town things. That's what Atlanta was. Every Thursday, everybody was at Jelly Beans. Every Friday, everybody was at Charles Disco. Every Saturday, everybody was at Sensations or whatever. Every Sunday, you back at the rink. Every Monday, you are over here at this club. Now it's Magic City. Now it's all shake clubs when it's like, duh. It was, you didn't have to, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that back then. It really was more about, it was about going to different areas to congregate with your, with teenagers, actually, because it was young. It was young teenagers. It was teenagers and it was college people. Because at this point now in Atlanta, you got like Georgia State is the best college now in Atlanta, Georgia. Like, you know what I mean? But back then, the AU Center was very important. When I say that about GSU, I'm so serious. Like, Big Rue went to GSU. Like I studied at GSU. It's like this is where you wanna be, because it's grown. But when we was younger though, Morehouse, Morris Brown, Clark, Spelman. So you had the campuses, and Morris Brown is not even here anymore. And it was the one who was really giving scholarships out to the locals or whatever. So for us back then, the scene was based on that or whatever. A lot of people from Atlanta also would go away to college or whatever, like to Alabama and to Florida or whatever. So for us, working the scene was about talent shows. Talent shows was the biggest thing. Talent shows, so that's why dance groups, because the group Silk, Chris Tucker used to we used to be at Columbia High School talent shows. Chris Tucker would be the person, the announcer. And before you knew who he was, but he was like, damn, that's the same dude. Ended up becoming. And then Silk used to be a singing group performing on there, and we were dance groups on the show, and we would win. Like the dance group would beat Silk and a Monica, because Atlanta was based on people loved the crunkness of seeing routine dancing. They would get so excited, and the more diverse your routine was, you get on the floor, your music break down, a slow song come on, they get excited. The lights cut off. You really got into putting together a show tape where the people with the best show tape would win. So we end up going harder, just putting together. Then we would go do the routine in front of the DJ while he making the show tape. Okay, right here I'm gonna break it down. Okay, break it down. Okay, right here we're gonna do this. Right? And that was the Atlanta scene. But the effort and the energy we was putting into something showed up later on through the groups and the artists that came out. Because Divine Derek Stevens, you might not know who he is, but he was somebody that was a legend when it came to dancing. He's one of the first people who got a record deal in Atlanta. Didn't really blow up as an artist, but he ended up signing Akon, Lady Gaga, T-Pain, all them being up under him. He got on being a dancer. He came up with the dance steps for Michael Jackson video.
Wow.
For the Remember the Times.
Yeah.
Then you saw TLC getting on with dancing, because it was about that style or whatever. So of course, being from Atlanta, you like, but they got that from the club. That's Atlanta. That's us.
Right.
That's us. So you start feeling yourself a little more. Like, we cool. So it's almost like we don't have to do what other people do. They do what we do. So we started putting more emphasis in that. Like, not trying to be left field, thinking people gonna follow you out here doing something stupid, but like, you know what? They are paying attention to us, and they're not hating. They're not saying we're not gonna do that because they country, or we're not gonna do, oh, that's some old country stuff. They really was like, look, check them out. So I think that was the fuel we needed to believe that that Atlanta was important, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King showed us that we're important. The whole movement like us being that place would always had a black mayor. Always the infrastructure was kind of controlled by black. It's almost like it gave us power to believe that we're more than what we think we are or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So with that alone, that's the kind of stuff we put back into what we do.
As I stated before, in 1973, Maynard Jackson was elected the first black mayor of the city. And as a result of this, part of his plan was affirmative action. He gave 35% of all city contracts to minority contractors, which means he produced a lot of rich black folk. And as a result of that, and this is one of the things I talk about in my book, every slickster in the black world was trying to come to Atlanta to hit a lick. And so it attracted a different kind of talent. In 1974, he created the Bureau of Cultural Affairs. And what this was is he would travel in different places, and he understood, you know, when you teach black power, the expressive arm of black power is black art. And so he understood that he had black political power here in the city, and so he wanted to get black expressive power that came out of Atlanta. And so he creates the Bureau of Cultural Affairs, which is now the Office of Cultural Affairs, which is why we're here today. But with all of these transplant black folk, interlopers, coming into the city, how were you all able to differentiate yourself? How were you able to say, we are real AT aliens? This is what Atlanta is.
You know what? At that point, we looked at Atlanta as a mecca. Meaning like, you guys are not coming here taking over. We're allowing y'all to come. Now for real, that's how we thought. At that age, we was like, at least our city was growing, because not only was people moving here, companies were moving here. It was more jobs. You didn't hear about the homies in the hood saying they ain't have no work. It was like, you ain't look for no job, nigga. Like, it's plenty work, bro. You plenty work. We don't want to hear about it no more. So I feel like that was so important. So that's why it wasn't such a distraction, or we wasn't tripping, because we felt like Atlanta, like, and the way we knew the difference was also the pride. Was like, certain people gonna be at the park on Sunday. This was an Atlanta thing. You can be from out of town, like, damn, where everybody at Maddox Park? Where everybody at Mosley Park? Why everybody congregate? Oh no, we don't go to Piedmont no more. No, we're real here. That's for them. Like, really? Like, so I feel like in my heart, these are the ways we separated. And then the things you was eating, the places you was going. Like, and that's why we talked about soul food, like the Beautiful, or like a hot wing, certain little spots. We just, that was the pride. See, now a lot of them things are not. Now you got ATL Dream, you got wings that's like, you know these people ain't from Atlanta. It's just a thing to say or whatever. Like J.R. Cricket's was one of the first places that we really knew about with wings in Atlanta. I remember when the lemon pepper wing, like that's how Atlanta. I'm just saying, this is, you want to know about Atlanta? I'm trying to tell you, like, you got to know about the best collard greens. These are the things that let you know you from here or not.
Right.
And those are the things when a person come around, they be like, man, we finna go to Western now. I was like, they ain't from here. Come on. Let me show y'all. Follow me. Follow me. Now, you ain't got to go to Waffle House. You ain't got to go to Waffle House. You can go here. You ain't got to go there. You can go here. This is how we do it. Like, this is what we do. This is the spot right behind this spot right here. Ask for Big Mama. Like, I remember the lady, Miss Ann Burgers. She had them big burgers or whatever. She passed away. Like, it's little things like that. It makes you a pillar in the city. And then it's been 20 years now. So you got some people who have been here for 20 years. And they got some of that swag now, where they tell you where to go. They might turn me on to a spot now. You know what I'm saying?
And I told you.
You told me on to a spot. You told me.
Hey, but also, man, you know, we had Atlanta, like you mentioned, the 74, 73 Atlanta. Atlanta is very progressive. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
too busy to hate.
That's the slogan.
They came up with that.
You know, but
Tall boy.